Good evening and welcome to the 1927 pod. How are we all? Joined tonight by my co-host, Mr. Rhys David Evans. How are we?
Tired, but not too bad, Val.
What do you mean tired? You don't know the word meaning of the word tired.
I've done that area already before. It's a long drive, like.
It was a nightmare. I took the wrong turning, so I ended up going 20 minutes towards Shrewsbury rather than coming back to South Wales. I got off then on the M50, first one off the M5, got so far down that road and there was a road closure there, so I had to go all the back lanes. So I think I got in about 2:10 last night or this morning. So tired boy this morning, and the plumber then here to fit my new boiler this morning. So it's been fun and games, but yeah, it was worth the trip. Obviously it was disappointing that we couldn't pick up a result, but you know, I can't fault the effort of the players. It was I think that's all we wanted them to do was go up and put a performance in and do themselves proud, and I think they've done that, in my opinion. I don't know what your thoughts are on it, Ben.
Well, first of all, the Villa side went all out tonight, let's be honest. They showed ultimate respect there. They had Rashford, Asensio, World Cup winning Emi Martinez in goals. That was a full, strong side. That was the Champions League starting 11. That was mainly. I look at our side. Dylan Lawler, his first ever professional game for Cardiff. Louis Giles, 18 years old, his first start in God knows how long. We patched the side together from injured players and fit players and stuff. Robertson could do 45 minutes at most. Rambo done 60 minutes. We had Robertson for 30 minutes, and I thought, for a side patched together from the Championship, fighting relegation, I thought they were fantastic. They did everyone proud, I thought. Yeah. And on the outside, no one knows what's going on in Cardiff, so they just think we sat back, did nothing. But for the Cardiff fans, they know how bad things have been injury-wise for us. So I can honestly say that was a fantastic result. I was disappointed not to get a goal. I thought if we nick a goal there, that would be icing on the cake for the fans. But they're just unlucky, I think, really. I think they come up against a strong side. I think they showed the utmost respect to us and went full on.
Yeah, no, 100% agree with you. But then I think, you know, we've sat in the stands and we've seen this when the sides were announced. We were thinking, it's going to be a long evening. And then I think, we frustrated them for large periods of the game. Especially first half to go in 0-0. I think, we done really well to keep it 0-0. I think, looking back on the stats, I think they had something like 25 shots at goal and 10 on target. We'll go through some of the player ratings and we'll talk about the players and things as we go on. But, it was expected. I think we all knew we were going to be under the caution, under pressure for large periods of the game. I think they had something like 70-odd% possession as well. But again, you're coming up against a team with so much pace. You make a mistake, they counter in. And I just thought, the boys put in a shift. You just mentioned Lola. I thought he was absolutely outstanding for his first start. To me, he didn't look out of place whatsoever. And that's got to give us confidence in the sense that, we do pick up injuries now when there's people suspended or whatever. He can slot in, he can do a job because, that was a massive stage for him last night. And I thought he handled the pressure of, playing against a Champions League team then. For me, he was brilliant.
It's one of those as well. How many times we come away from a game saying, if we put the effort in and we lose, chances are quality has beaten us. But as long as we've shown the fight, commitment, everything. And last night, all it was. The only thing that beat us last night was a bit of quality. And when you're a Champions League side, you can afford that quality. We're a Championship side fighting relegation. To have Asensio, Rashford have just brought in on loan. Bailey on the wing. They were full of quality. And I thought, I'll be funny, but Louis Giles made Bailey look like a bang average player, I thought, last night.
Yeah.
I mean, again, these are kids, it was a side patched together, unfit players, injured players, all just chucked together, and again, they were fantastic. I thought Rambo looked quality, mind. His control of the ball, his passing, it was outstanding. Ruben's carry of the ball last night as well. He had a job to do, and I was just to carry the ball, win free kicks, and I thought he was brilliant with the ball. The only disappointing thing about Ruben last night is other teams are going to see that now and think we should go for him in summer. And that's the only disappointing thing, because he's put himself right in the shop window with that performance, I think.
Yeah, and I think he did in the League Cup, didn't he? I think he had a couple of good performances against Southampton, wasn't he? Yeah. Earlier on in the season. And, at the end of the day, it's all good and well doing it for one game. It's, we need to see that consistently now. And if teams are going to look at him, they are going to look at, not just one game. They're going to watch him for a period. So, don't get me wrong. If he gets a move and, we get 10, 15 million for him and that's what he wants to do, then great. But I still think he's probably got another year or two left with us, I think. But to be completely honest with you.
Yeah, I am surprised no one came in for him in the January, mind, because you look at someone like Ipswich, you're thinking they're probably looking at players like that, young, great ball carriers, bit of flair, bit of technique, someone who could turn on a bit of magic now when they needed. So I'm surprised he didn't go in January. I think last night's performance against the Premier League side of Villa will add a few million to his value, though, if the club are forced to sell. But I thought they were all fantastic last night. I don't think no one let themselves down.
No, not at all. I think I did see an article today. I haven't read it, but some Premier League fans or whatever couldn't believe, or were really impressed with Colwill. So yeah, like you said, it'll be interesting to see what comes of it. So before we dive in and talk a little bit more about the game, let's just get into the comments and say good evening to some of the guys who are tuning in. Evening, Bradley. How are you, my friend? Graham. Happy St. David's Day all. Paul's pushed the boat out a bit further. Deed Goyle, there we happy. Evening, Matt and Rhys. And the chat. 1-0 to Paul. Graham, youngsters were excellent, that they were. Damien was working up in Birmingham yesterday. Had his Cardiff City shirt on. Fair play to you. Evening all, made it back from Birmingham with no bruising. I was in the Alton Tavern watching the game. Some lads started, but in fairness, had the backing from pub and some locals too. Gavin, no yak on the bench. No. Again, it was youngsters on the bench, wasn't it? Gavin also goes to say, I used to think for years how the Swans would keep finding young talent and turning them into players, while we never got near that. Ledley, Rambo, that's it. Now I see loads.
I think it's give them a chance, isn't it? I think it's just they need a chance. I mean, the amount of times we've had youngsters, if we give them most of a chance, they'll probably just shine. But without the manager willing to do it, I mean, Swansea were known for it for years because they had no money and were forced to dip in the academy. And that forced players to develop and grow and stuff. So again, now we got Rhys, who does work with the academy and stuff. I think we'll see a lot more coming through. And
I think that's a good thing. I think it's a good thing in the sense that he's used to working with younger players. So, hopefully that's going to be a strength that, when the younger players are coming into the first team environment, he's obviously used to working with those types of individuals, really. And hopefully he can help settle nerves and things, like Lola last night playing alongside Perry NG. Gutas at the back, Rambo just in front of him. That's got to give a young player like that massive confidence, hasn't it?
Exactly. And I've noticed this thing as well. When a club has money, you don't see academy players come through. You look now, right? Before the season or a few seasons ago, you lose a right back to injury, you bring in a player on loan. You lose a winger, you bring in Callum Grant on loan. Years ago, we lose a right back. Chris Canton was forced through. We end up developing him, selling him on. Darcy Blake is forced through due to injuries. Plays great for us. Sadly didn't pan out in the end. You're missing a midfielder. They forced him in the academy. They notice Rambo. When clubs have no money, they force look indoors and inside, and they find the academy players who are ready for the step up. So hopefully, the club are more willing to do that with a manager like Rhys, who has worked with the academies folks. He'll know what to spot with these youngsters as well.
Yeah, agree with everybody. Agree. It is hard to read all the comments out, guys, so I will just flash them up on the screen as me and Rhys are chewing the fat, as they say. Rhys says, I had a great trip, boys. Decent performance. Made them work for it. And Jeans thinks we should have had a pen. Yeah, looking back on it, I haven't watched much of the highlights, to be honest, because I've been flat out busy today and just haven't had the time yet. But I will look back on it. What was your initial thoughts? I think Rhys is on about the Perry NG incident, I think.
I've seen him give one, right? And I'll be funny. If he was given against us, I'd be fuming. I think it's minimum contact to the foot. And Perry does make it look like he's just had his ankle broken, where he throws himself in the air. And I think that goes against him. If he goes down naturally, I think he's more inclined then to go, look, that's a penalty. Because he's a bit theatrical with it, I think they don't. But I used to play football when you could 2-foot someone, and it's just a warning, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now you sneeze by a player and see a yellow card, so I don't think it's a penalty personally, but it's Cardiff, so I wanted a penalty.
With this VAR thing that was in place last night, then do you think the referee should have been told to at least have had a look at it?
Oh, the VAR thing's a joke anyway, because is it automated offsides they got now? And it took 7 minutes today to decide if it was offside or not in one of the games. So it shows that VAR doesn't work anyway. And let's be honest, they say it's for clear and obvious, but it's only clear and obvious when they decide it's clear and obvious. So, again, it's Cardiff, let's be honest, decisions always go against us. Chelsea scored against the Premier League, 3-4 yards offside. VAR wouldn't have said it's clear and obvious. VAR has said it's unclear, it's not obvious, just carry on. No, it goes against us. We just that kind of side, with the Welsh side that the FA don't like. So if
it had been up the other end and it was Villa, chances are that they would have had the penalty in.
Yeah, they would have given it. I would be fuming, but they would have given it for Villa. And again, it's just it's not a Cardiff bias, but it's always against us. You see it every week when we're watching the Championship. It's some of the decisions go against us. You're baffled.
Yeah. There was a comment earlier on. I'm going to go back to it because I was lucky enough to go up to the game yesterday. Richard Newell, good evening, Rich. How are you, buddy? He said he watched a vlog from a Villa supporter who was complimentary of City, especially the Cardiff supporters. The atmosphere was amazing. It was the 6,500 fans that went up in the end, I think. And in fairness, we sung from the first minute until the last minute, and it's a great atmosphere. And away games always are, aren't they?
Yeah.
But to have 6,000 or 6,500 Cardiff fans all behind the team, it was amazing. And it would have been nice to have had a goal, but I think every one of them Cardiff fans leaving our ground last night, I think would have been happy with the performance the boys put in. Like,
yeah, again, it's away games are a different breed of fans, and let's be honest. You go to away games for 90 minutes, you're chanting, you're surrounded on three sides by home fans. It's just something special away games. I just love that we do it. It's different. But yeah, like I said, the performance, I think we're all worried because of how bad the injuries have hit us. We've got players unfit, we've got players injured, we're playing kids. We've had players that play out of position all season. We've had a winger playing left back, a midfielder playing right back playing centre half. So to patch the team together and to go out and put that performance in, that was, you can't use this. I can't say nothing negative. Like, again, I wouldn't want to anyway, but I thought they were all brilliant. And again, there's a few players out of contract in the summer. I think one or two of them put themselves in the shop window for a club elsewhere. I think good on them.
Yeah. So again, before we start talking, and we'll have a little chat about individual performances. I did want to mention about the tribute Villa done for Peter Whittingham. I haven't seen a shade on any social media or anything today, but there was a clip for a couple of minutes put on the big screen, and I just thought it was a touch of class by Villa. In fairness, they had a couple of players talking about Wits. I think Lee Henry was one of the players talking about what he was like as a player, what he was like as a human being, and everybody give a massive round of applause and things when that finished and things, and it just. Yeah, it's still a sad thing that have happened in it, and obviously was he 35, I think, or 34 when he passed away? It's just so cruel, isn't it?
And the worst thing is, let's be honest, he's the best player we've ever seen. None of us will ever see a player like that again. He was such a lovely human being as well, and it says it all. Where I thought it was disrespectful for Warnock when he let him go, but then. He still lived in Cardiff. He still loved the area. He loved the fans, the city. He still didn't want to move. And it was funny because I went to a Warnock evening previously, and it was him and Ronnie Epson, and they were both talking about when they first came to the club of Whittingham, and they said they never understood the loving of him. They didn't understand why people thought so highly of him. And they watched him in training one session, and he was 3 moves ahead of everyone else. And they were like, "What? Like, we understand now." I think that says it all. Like, even in training, he sounds like he was like a magician. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Honestly, such a sad thing, but it's good to see that there was a story for us saying there's a statue going to be built.
Yeah, I think we mentioned that on Thursday night, didn't we? And I think they're obviously in discussions with the family, but yeah, that'll be a nice tribute to the great man. I know obviously there's normally a flag up in the Ninian stand, but yeah, it makes you proud to be a part of the club when they recognise, players. You go back to Sol Bamba, his chant was going last night as well. We don't forget, people who've sadly passed, who've put a shift in for us.
It's funny as well. You think of some of the players who played for us, and when they talk about their times at clubs and stuff, it's always nice time you. And then they talk about Cardiff, and there's a smile on their face, and they say how much they loved it. They moved to the city. They bought a house here. They tried settling down here. There's so many players that have come here and done that, and it does help with a one city club. Like, there's no other team in around the area of Cardiff. Everyone in Cardiff is a Cardiff fan. It's such a great place to be, I think, as well. And again, there's so many players that are falling in love with it. Kev McNaughton speaks highly of us all the time. Gavin Ray, McPhail. There's so many greats we've had over the years. And Witts for me was up there with the very best of them.
Yeah, so, just wanted to mention that. So, fair play to Aston Villa. It was a great tribute, which was, like I said, both sets of fans give a round of applause after. I just thought it was a great touch. There was rumours that they were going to do something. I didn't know whether it was going to be a round of applause on 7 minutes. That didn't materialise, but obviously that was done prior to kick-off. But it'll be nice now if they try and get that out on social media, so fans that armchair fans like you then who didn't go up yesterday can watch it. Like,
some of us at work this morning, so
you've got to get your priorities right, man.
I know.
But no, I did speak to Sai because obviously he's in touch with the Up the Villa podcast to see if potentially they've got any links to the club, and obviously we can get a copy of it, type of thing. But it would be interesting to get that shared out, and I'm sure it probably will be shared out in some kind of format. But fair play to Villa for doing that. Right, let's dive back into the comments. I had to mute the pundits. They kept banging on about Rashford. Wouldn't take him over Rashford. I thought he was mediocre. I wasn't. He had plenty of stick from the Cardiff fans, and I suppose big name players when they come up against a team, fighting for their lives in the bottom of the championship. You're always going to get stick in it.
Yeah.
But I wasn't overly impressed with him. To be fair, I don't think he set the world alight last night. Just I thought we dealt with him fairly well. To be fair,
I think his link-up play with Asensio is up there, and he's quick. They move the ball very quick for it, and I think it does take a bit of quality for that. And you can see his link-up play with Asensio is a cut above anything he can produce. But again, I just thought we made a Champions League team look not average, but we did our job that well. That 67 minutes it took for them to break us down. And up to that point, I think they were starting to panic a bit then, thinking they might make a goal now because the Salih's chance was just before it. They're probably thinking, shit, they're getting closer, they know these are.
Rob, this is the 1927 podcast, not eBay, buddy, right? So I'm only joking. But guys, if anybody's interested in buying some match day programs, I'm not sure if the Cardiff ones, Newport ones. No, I'm joking. The Cardiff programs, I think Rob said they got programs from 20, 30 years ago. So if anybody is interested, get in touch with Rob Boyle and he'll let you know what he got. Paul said we definitely need a new leader on the pitch. Think O'Dowda put himself in the window. 100% agree with you with that one. But I was glad he had a rest last night because I think, I'd prefer him to be fit now and firing ready for Burnley Tuesday.
Agree with that.
Lee Dixon is a boring twat anyway.
I don't like Sam Hart's face either. Ali McCoist is out there, right? He only works really now for Amazon. Ali McCoist is brilliant. I listen to Ali McCoist, I think he's fantastic. Why don't ITV get something like that, didn't it? He is brilliant. And you listen to this now, he's just boring. He is, honestly, Dixon is. It's like Phil Neville, Michael Owen, some of this awful here. How do they get jobs to commentate on games?
Yeah. Is the rumour true or false? Tanner is out for the season. I can't confirm or deny that question, buddy. I haven't heard anything. But maybe.
Last night, there was a serious injury to his foot, and they're not sure when he'll be back. It's going to be quite a long one.
I'm sure he had a fracture in his foot or something, didn't he?
Against Swansea, I think. That's why the club were looking for a replacement. I think that's maybe why Matty hasn't left yet, because they forced him to put bodies in, I think.
Yeah.
But I did hear it's still pretty bad. And he's still in a boot to the cast now, he is.
Can't train till May, apparently, Tanner. Season over for him, probably, Paul says. Jeff says Lee Dixon was doing my Sweden.
Yeah, he's awful. It's such a bad comment. Again, Ali McCoist is up there. Get him in, he's brilliant.
I like Ali McCoist, in fairness. He's a good crack, Ali McCoist.
I tell you what was surprising last night, mine, was listening to Roy Keane talk about Cardiff. I was so used to Keane talking about the Premier League sides, and I was going on there about Cardiff and needs to be 3 steps ahead, and there's Irish accent. I thought it was brilliant. Just love listening to him.
Yeah, he's one that I wouldn't mind, going to a live show type of thing. But we've had Willie Boland anyway, so we don't need Roy Keane, do we? I'd much prefer listening to Willie Boland, to be honest.
Roy Keane is the Manchester Willie Boland, so...
Yeah. But, yes, so obviously the starting lineup last night, obviously there was many changes. We'll start with Ethan Hovarth. Obviously, was this second or third game? No, second game, I think, since Jack Alnwick now has been ruled out for the season. What was your initial, or what was your thoughts on his performance last night?
First of all, I'm not a fan of him. Everyone knows I'm not a fan. I don't trust him. Last night, I thought he was outstanding. 9 out of 10 for me last night. I thought shot stopping was brilliant last night. He looks. I think Lee Dixon mentioned on commentary. He looks like he's a mistake in him. He looks nervy. But I thought last night he was brilliant. I've no complaints about him. I can't blame him for either goal. I think his distribution was okay. I thought his distribution would look better if we won some headers, but we just don't win any headers, so it looks worse. But I thought he was absolutely fantastic.
And our starting lineup yesterday, there's not many head-winning players in that team anyways. I think El Ghazi perhaps to get the odd one, but there's not many in that team who win balls in the air, is it?
The only thing I will say, right, is, and I don't like, is that blimmin' chant, USA, USA, USA. I absolutely hate that chant for starters, right?
And it was going last night, but it was going.
The boys in the Canton, they know I hate this. They try and get it going all the time. I can't stand it. The only one player I think has ever heard the USA chant, and that's Eddie Johnson.
Eddie.
And if anyone has never seen him play, right, Eddie Johnson was the hardest working player you'll ever see, who just lacked any sort of... he just lacked everything else, but he would work non-stop, he would, and he earned that chant.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't have Robert Earnshaw in there, James, to be honest. He's normally about, then he when Cardiff are playing.
He's not the best commentator, to be fair. I prefer Right D I much prefer Right D.
Yeah,
and I think Right D, he's one of those people where he's honest, Right D. If you do a good job, he'll speak well of you. But I think there's a picture going on as well. Did they Ayatollah in it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did the Ayatollah.
There we are. Uli's ex-Cardiff boy when he got Ayatollah boys doing it.
Yeah, so I thought Ethan Hovarth had a good performance, in fairness. Like you said, great shot stopping. It still makes me nervous, mind, when we play that ball up from the back. Obviously, it was part of the game plan, but like you say, obviously from past experiences, he's got a mistake in him, and yeah, he just looks a bit nervy, doesn't he? But I thought, other than that, he was outstanding last night, and put a real good shift in.
The only thing is, though, for big games, players get up for him more than he. You just hope he's got that mental ability now to get himself up for Burnley and Luton and Oxford at home rather than just Villa. So it's up to him to prove us wrong now and keep his performance going, I think.
Yeah. Debut for young Dylan Lawler last night. I thought he was absolutely outstanding.
Yeah.
Didn't look out of place whatsoever. For an 18-year-old to, step onto that stage last night, obviously he would have been nervous. His family was there watching. But for me, he looked like a seasoned pro and he'd been there years type of thing. What an experience for the young man. And, he didn't let us down one bit, did he?
No, he threw his body on the line as well a few times, diving into block shots and stuff. And again, you don't see that from youngsters normally. It's not with the seasoned pros that can read the ball well and they throw their body on the line. He was doing it. I thought he was brilliant at centre half. For the first professional game as well, clubs are going to be looking at our academy players now if they're performing like this. I thought he was absolutely fantastic. Fair play to him.
Dimi Gutas at the back as well. What was your opinion on him last night, Bed?
Yeah, I think he got beaten a bit too many times. I think a through ball split him and Fish apart a few too many times. He got done for the second goal. I don't say too easy. I think Asensio sort of just drops his right shoulder and puts the ball the other side of him. But again, I'm happy with Dimi. I think he's had a solid game as well. You can't complain when you played against quality of Asensio and Rashford and stuff. He's not. I mean, so I thought he was solid. And again, I think the most important thing was he probably coached them youngsters through the game as well. And we won't see that on TV here on the stands because you don't get to hear that. But he probably was offering advice non-stop to them kids. And I think that's vital, that is. And so I'm more than happy with the performance, I'd say.
Yeah, 100%. Another strong performance again for Will Fish. I thought he was outstanding again last night. Starting to see him come good now. Not that he was bad before, but obviously I suppose he's been unlucky in the sense that he hasn't played many minutes because, Gutas and Darland have been playing and whatever others. He's been restricted in the minutes that he has played. But, for me, the last two games, again, he's been, really strong.
Yes, I think you can see that Manchester United academy pedigree coming through, can't you? Like, they don't produce average players, they produce some top quality players. His reading of the game of someone so young is fantastic. He's winning headers, he's getting his body on the line, he's getting stuck in. He looks the real deal. I think he was signed as a replacement for Gutas for next season. I think the club have probably been forced to play him sooner than they like to have played him. But this is better for us now because his development pushes on. And let's be honest, when likes of Darlan comes back, the Maj will have a headache anyway because he's got Gutas, Fish, Baker, who's fantastic and centre half for us lately, and Darlan already willing to play in centre half. So I think it's a good headache to have. But Fish looks brilliant. I think he looks like a future top centre half for us. He does. Yeah,
100% agree with you. Young Louis Giles as well. Then played, left wing back or left back or whatever you want to call it nowadays. Another strong performance by that young man as well.
Fantastic. Honestly, I thought he was absolutely fantastic. I know he played a few weeks ago. It might have been the Stoke game, and a few people criticised him, saying he didn't impress much. He didn't have the best of games. He's still very young. He's still learning his trade. I mean, when was the last time he had a first team start? It's easy enough to say he plays regularly for the under-23s, but as we know from ex-players, there's a massive step up between under-23s and first team men's football. And I thought he made a Champions League winger in Bailey look bang average. I thought he was brilliant. I thought he didn't get much defensive cover in the first 30 minutes. I thought Willock didn't offer much coming back. And he kicked on. I thought he was brilliant. I really impressed him.
Yeah, fair play. Ruben Colwill. I thought he was absolutely outstanding last night. Still feel he's got a mistake in mind as well. But yeah, for me, a lot of the game last night, obviously forced, he's probably, running the ball from deep. I don't know, he just looked a lot better coming from deep last night. And, he was able to run with the ball quite a lot. I thought he another strong performance from Ruben. I think, again, he's put himself in that shop window now come the summer. I think we mentioned it earlier, didn't we, that the fact now that there'll be clubs sniffing round him perhaps.
Yeah.
But yeah, we just need to see these performances from Rubes now on a consistent basis because we all know he's got the talent and the ability, but we just need to see that on on a more consistent basis now for me.
I thought he looked brilliant. I think a bigger pitch helped him. He found more space on a bigger pitch. I also think when we play the Championship, teams sit back a bit further, a bit more deeper. There's less space between the midfield and the defence. I think last night Villa, because there was so much attack, there was more space to be found in behind the midfield, which benefited Ruben. I think he was let down a bit by El Ghazi quite often because, as we know, El Ghazi likes to stay in offside positions and call for the ball. And the amount of times he was offside last night calling for the ball, I think Ruben's become aware now not to give it to him in that situation. So he holds on to it. I thought he was fantastic. I thought he carried the ball brilliantly. He was drawing the fouls in as well, so with the free kicks, which was what our plan was, to win a set piece, to try and win a header. I thought he played brilliant. I don't see him as an 8, personally, long term. I think he's a 10. But last night, I have no complaints from me last night. I thought he was brilliant. Everything he wanted from him. I'm surprised he played as much as he did. I thought we'd rest him mainly for Tuesday against Burnley. But then I just, he's young. Maybe he can do the Friday, Tuesday.
Yeah, no, 100%. Just dive into the comments as well. Paul says, if Rhys takes the jersey off Fish, it will be a travesty. Drop Gutas and keep Fish with Darland. Which is a nice headache for the manager to have, though, isn't it?
I'd drop Darland personally on the bench. I think he's been bullied far too easy by smaller guys. I think he needs to toughen up a bit. He's been injured. Just tell him now, go in the gym, work on yourself, come back. These two are brilliant. So there's a good partnership with Fish and Gutas now. I wouldn't want to disrupt that.
Yeah. Aston Villa supporter here, Kevin. Welcome, buddy. Thanks for getting involved. You sang more than West Ham and Spurs did at Villa Park. Fair play. Graham asks him then, who do you want in the draw? No surprise, he fancies Preston. Cheers, Kev, and welcome. Yeah. And Graham says, makes sense. Kev says, no worries. Best of luck for the rest of the season. We need it, buddy. We need it. A couple of difficult games coming up. You can see the gulf between the Prem and the Championship is scary. If we ever go up, Ipswich spent 150 million this season. Yeah, and again, I think that's a comment we've discussed previously. You look at the bottom team in the Championship this year, Southampton. They were awesome last year, weren't they? And I know we managed to pick up points against them last year, but the gulf between the two divisions is massive. And to be honest, I would like to see Cardiff go to the Prem, of course, but I don't think I would enjoy going as much as what I do going to watch games in the Championship, because you never know what's going to happen when you go to watch Cardiff. We could play really well. Obviously, we could play well or we could play shite. But on the day in the Championship, anybody can beat anybody. And I don't know. You go up to the Premier League, and I think, look at Southampton. How many games has Southampton won this year? Have they won a game?
Yeah, they got 9 points as it stands, and the lowest point tally is 11. They beat Ipswich a few weeks ago. But again, for me, I prefer the chase, I do. It's always the chasing down the playoffs. That's more exciting than playing the Premier League, avoiding relegation. Again, in the Premier League, you don't get Saturday, Tuesday. It's Sunday for Sky, and next Saturday at 12:30 for Sky, and then Sunday again for Sky. I prefer Saturday, Tuesday, the Championship. I think Ipswich have done the right thing this year, mind. I know you said they spent 150 million. It used to be a case of you buy players to stay up in the Premier League. You don't do that no more. The plan is now to buy players that get you promoted from the Championship for when you go back down. That way you're ready then next time when you go back up, you've got a solid base and you can add to it. And then you give another crack. And if you come down, you've banked more money, you do it, go again. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with going up and down for 3 or 4 years and then stabilising yourself and maintaining. Brighton got very lucky the year we went down. Because that could easily be us staying up in the Premier League the year and Brighton going down. They could be in League One now. We could be Premier League regulars. But there's a few things you've got to get right. One is the managerial appointments. You've got to get a spot on. Brighton have built a philosophy. Bournemouth have built a philosophy and an ideology of how to play. And every manager they've hired since then fits the style of play they want to play. So you could even argue the case Aston Villa are exactly the same now. Unai Emery, top quality manager. He's got them playing some
decent football. I know, obviously, we kept them at bay for quite a while last night, but at the end of the day, they're a Champions League team. So, he must be doing something right there.
Exactly. It's just, you've got a right plan in place. And I think, for us personally, it's the money that helps the club more than anything. I think the money pays off some debts, probably. You can put into training, into academy. I think that's for us more than anything. Luton went up, and I think they banked the money and put on for a new stadium. And to be fair, that's right for them, because they need a new stadium. They need to modernise and make more money through revenue streams. Their fans will be upset.
It'll be nice for them to have the best stadium in League One, won't it, I suppose?
Well, to be fair, the way Swansea go, where they'll have a second best soon, won't they? So, but yeah, again, they need to have new revenue streams. So, I think they didn't really strengthen this summer. They lost a few players they didn't sign. They lost a few players they didn't sign replacements for. But again, you've got to look at a bigger picture. I think Luton going down is a travesty for them. Don't get me wrong. But we've seen teams like Wolves go straight down from the Premiership into League One, shoot right back up in the Premier League. Norwich did it, come straight back in the Premier League. Southampton have done it. It can be done. Sheffield United have done it. But they've got to get things off the field right. And I think a stadium for them is the right thing for them. Yeah. So it's just, you've got to do, you've got to be wise with the money when you get promoted. Don't do like some teams do and spend 50 million on one player and hope that keeps you up.
Before we go back to talking about the players, another comment from Kevin, the Villa supporter. I thought your goalie was superb, to be honest. Yeah, so he hasn't been our number one this year, Kev. He's been in the last two games because our Jack Anick has been ruled out for the season, torn his hamstring against Plymouth. And yeah, he's had two solid performances in fairness. So yeah, he does give us heart palpitations quite a bit, mine. But yeah, he put in a solid shift last night, in fairness to him.
I'd like to ask Kev as well, what's his thoughts on El Ghazi? Because we've not seen the El Ghazi you guys had. It's been a shadow himself. What was he like for you, guys? I remember in the Championship, he was quality. But from a Villa's fan, I'd like to know what they think of him.
Was it the 2019 or 2018 playoff? He scored for him to get him promoted. Yeah. You're thinking then that's 6-7 years ago, maybe, if not longer. Everybody, we all aged, don't we? So we never, same with Rambo, innit? The Rambo we got now, and we'll come on to talk about Rambo because he's the next one I wanted to talk about. Age catches up with everybody, and I just think he just looks that little bit, and we'll talk about El Ghazi in a second as well. So let's move on to Rambo then. Showed his class for me last night. His range of passing. Yeah, I'm just so glad we've got him back out on the pitch. We're never going to get the Rambo of old back. And I think any Cardiff fan will hold their hands up and say that. But I just think he gives so many others confidence around him. And like I said, his ability to pick a pass is first class.
Yeah, his vision in the game is brilliant, and let's be honest. You can see, like last night, I think our plan was to sit back, hit on the counter. I do think we made a mistake with Willock and El Ghazi the wing, because I don't think he'd have the pace to be effective on the counter. And I think if you had Isaac Davis or maybe an Ashford there, I think you would have seen... I think Rambo would be appreciated a bit more because he'd have been more effective getting the ball in over the top and on the players and stuff. But again, his vision, his passing is outstanding. And working with youngsters has got to help us. I mean, they've got to look to him, I think, as someone who's played the Champions League for Juventus, Arsenal, won the FA Cup 3 times, scored in big games as well, you have. So it's got to help them, do you mean? Yeah. I thought he was so standard last night, to be fair. I thought he won... Everything went through us, went through him, I thought, last night.
Yeah, 100%. Mr. Perry NG, that gentleman is, rightly or wrongly, he's had his critics this year. And I think, at the end of the day, we're not criticising the individual, it's the performance, I suppose, 9 times out of 10. But for me, the last 2 games, again, I think he's up the ante again. And, he's put in 2, again, really strong performances. I was really impressed with him last night, in fairness.
Yeah, I was impressed with him. I think the move he wanted in the summer didn't come off, and I think he got a bit upset maybe, and he wasn't the same. I don't know if it's the fact this comes to the end of the season, he wants to put himself in the shop window again. If that's the case, that benefits us because I think we move him on regardless in the summer. And if he performs for us now, that's going to help us. It is. I thought he was good. I don't like his theatrics sometimes. I know it's one of those where his shithousery is on point. Like, and when it's for you, you love it. When it's against you, it winds you up. And sometimes I think it does get, like, I think referees' decisions go against him because of it sometimes. But yeah, I thought last night he put his body on the line for us. He ran himself into the ground. Again, I thought he had a tough job because you had Rashford coming at him. You had Asensio drifting across coming at him. I thought he did a good job, Benji, he did last night. And again, he's had his critics. Last night, I think if he performed like that all season, I think he'd have been right back of the year again. But it's up to him to prove us wrong again now, like the others, and keep putting him shifts in.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, Paddy, if you're watching, buddy, last 2 performances, keep them going, son.
Yeah.
Moving on then to Mr. Anwar Al-Ghazi. Do you want to start?
I said aside last night, I'm not disappointed with El-Ghazi simply because this is exactly the same thing we've seen all season from him. He's always offside. His decision-making in the final third is very poor for me. I think a year out of football he's really lost something. Now, I don't know if it's a bit of magic. I don't know what it is, but I just think it's been a poor signing all round. And last night, I just thought he was desperate to score. He was snatching at his chances once or twice. So thinking, look, the pass is on. He just wanted to score. And I just think, again, to be fair, 90th minute, or towards the 90th minute mark, he did track back and win the ball back at the last-ditch tackle. I thought it was brilliant to see. But I've not been impressed with El-Ghazi. I don't think it's one of those where we've got players like Matty, for example, who plays out wide. He's not got the best ability. He'll put himself about, but he's not got the ability. But he will put himself about, and you can't blame him for that. El-Ghazi is the same. It's not as if he doesn't want to perform. I just think he can't perform the way he used to. And unfortunately, we can't afford the position we're in. We can't afford to carry anyone. I just think last night there was a bit. I think he played the 90 minutes simply because there's no plan for him to play in the league. Yeah. So therefore, we could keep him on, not waste fresh legs that we need for the league for him. If we bring a sub on in the league, it's going to be Isaac Davis instead of him now. I think last night it was Al-Ghazi's chance to try to show us something, and unfortunately, I think it's been the same we've seen all season. He's always in an offside position. He makes the run too soon. And I don't know whether that's the case of at Villa, better players could find him quicker. So he was on the side when he got the ball. And he hasn't, and it's not happening from the Championship. But unfortunately, we've not seen nothing from this season.
No.
I just think
coming into when he signed, obviously, he hadn't played for a long time. It took him a long time to get the match fitness, etc. Then he's in and out of the team. So, he's always going to be difficult. And again, it's difficult to put a run of form or have a run of games if you're not getting selected as well. So that's my defence for him, and just the fact that I know you asked Kevin what he was like at Villa, but like you said, time moves on. 6, 7, 8 years have passed since then, and unfortunately, age gets us all in the end. And I just think he's probably coming towards the end of his career now. I'd be very surprised if he's still. We only signed him on a short-term deal anyway, didn't we?
Yeah, 1-year deal. And it's one of those where he'll probably leave us now and go somewhere else to play. And he might suit like the Dutch leagues where it's a bit slower, maybe, or German league. Again, but the English league is so.
Or Sheffield Wednesday, and he'll come to Cardiff City Stadium next year and score a hat-trick, I expect.
Again, I'll be surprised. But again, it's just, for some reason, it's not worked out to Cardiff. I know you can't fault his effort. He has tried. There's nothing for him for that. He wanted to be a success. It's just not worked out for him. So at the end of the season, I'd shake his hand and say, thank you for everything you've done. But unfortunately, it's time we both moved on, I think. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, and I still look at it and think, he's still got a massive part to play. There's youngsters in and around the club, and, I still think he probably still will have a massive part to play between now and the end of the season. And, I wish him all the best, and I know you will as well. And
you want him to succeed. We all want him to succeed. If he shows up on Tuesday night, scores a hat-trick and turns their defence's head out, we're all landed. None of us want him to fail. I just think the effort is there, but I don't know if it's the quality has gone or that little bit of magic, the speed has just caught up to him a bit, maybe from a year out of football. But like I said, at the end of the season, thank you. I think it's time we move on. We go younger because we've had a habit of giving money to older players who once had a decent time. We need to look at younger players now and start, rather than looking at loan players, investing in our own youngsters. Because we need to have resale value in our players. We won't keep like Robertson for 4 years. He'll be gone in 2 or 3 years. But we need to keep this sort of this continuously going now, getting youngsters in, developing them. If they sell, they sell. If they don't, we keep them being better. But we got to go younger now rather than have older players. Because again, someone like I don't know, Isaac Davis, well, not him for example because he's always injured, but a younger player might have an injury, is out for 4 weeks. Someone who's maybe like Rambo has that same injury, he's out for 3 months because the age is different and the treats him different. So we do need to focus on younger players, I think.
Yeah, no, agreed. We'll move on then to Chrissy Willock.
Half and half. I think he did a brilliant job defensively. I thought he offered nothing going forward though. I thought he had one opportunity going forward and his defender got the better side of him and outpaced him. I think that's not his fault. He's not going to pace to play on the wing, I don't think. But I just don't think he offered much going forward. I was surprised to have him and El Ghazi the wing. I just thought a bit of pace on one wing for the counter would be effective. And he could bring him on later on in against a more tight defence. But yeah, again, it's another one where you're thinking there's other players ahead of him, so you can see why he played last night. And that's nothing against him. I thought first 30 minutes, I thought he didn't offer much. After that, he did drop deep, but it helped cover Louis Giles. I thought he was brilliant doing the defensive work end. But going forward, not disappointed. I just would like to see a bit more, Sol.
And I put that as, to defend him then, shall I say. I think going forward, I don't think we didn't go forward quick enough for me last night. And whether that was a game plan or whatever, I don't know. But I don't know. I think Louis Giles had an opportunity first half to go up our left wing. And I don't know whether that was a confidence thing in him. And, I'm not knocking him because he'd done a fantastic job for us. But I don't think when we had the opportunity to go at him, I just don't think we looked confident enough to do it.
I do think we lacked a lot of pace last night. You look at that lineup, and for starter, I mean, Robertson is not the fastest. El Ghazi's not the quickest. Willock's not the quickest. Rambo's not got the legs to be fast. I think there was a lack of pace for us to really hit them on the counter. I think the plan was the counter, which is, like I said, why I was surprised Isaac Davis didn't get 60 minutes under his belt. At least on one wing, because he's got the pace to run in behind. But yeah, it's tough because I'm saying he didn't offer much going forward. But like you said, that could be the game plan. He's not got a pace, and our plan was to use pace, and maybe because of that. But you can't fault them. They all put an effort in. So
last of the starting lineup then, Robinson again, ole. I think it was always planned he was only going to play 45 minutes. I don't think he come off with any type of injury or anything.
I hope not.
No.
I seen El Ghazi, because El Ghazi took him out at one point, didn't he?
Yeah.
He ran right through and clattered him. I thought, the last thing we need now is...
He's out for 4 weeks with concussion or something.
Broken jaw or something now. I was absolutely cracking him when I seen that. I thought, no. But then hopefully it's like... maybe it's one of those where we need to rest him, give him 45, give Salek 45. More than happy with that. Yeah. But yeah, I thought he did decent. I thought some lovely touches, decent passing. Ball retention is an issue we've got as a side. I thought some of our passing overall was sloppy. But yeah, again...
And when you play against a team like Aston Villa, mate, when you have sloppy touches or
it costs him.
You lose control of the ball, we get punished. They were on us like a cheap suit then, weren't they, last night? Yeah. They had so much pace in the team and, they pressed. And, when you play against a top team like Aston Villa, that's always going to be the case. And, it's maybe a little bit of luck if that's, obviously Salah come on early, will come on at half time. he had an opportunity. I think Perry NG crossed it in from the right. If that had gone in, perhaps I might have changed the game type of thing. No doubt it might have. But it is what it is. Salah come on then, obviously, for Robbo. Put himself about a bit, didn't he?
Yeah, he does like to get tussle with the defenders. And again, they treat him as like an old school 10, like a target man. But then all of a sudden he makes a run in behind the defender, and the NG chance is like a 9, and he is like a poacher. So it was disappointing we didn't get a goal for the fans. But again, you ask any Cardiff fan, if you could tell them last night you're going to lose 2-0, no injuries, you put a solid performance in and do yourselves proud, we'd all snap their hands off of that. So, again, can't complain.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I agree with this. I've said this last night, our pre-season was so poor this year. The first 10 games, we looked so out of it and unfit. I mean, Derby County, we were all over the place because we just weren't fit. And because of that, we playing catch up. But then injuries have picked up, Ben, because players are not playing unfit and stuff.
Yeah, agreed. Let's move on to some of the others who come off the bench. And one of my favourite players this year is Joel Bagan. Struggled to get any game time really the start of the season, didn't he? But obviously he's been in and out of the side again. He's come on at left back. He's come on. I think he come on in the midfield against Hull in the week, didn't he?
Yeah.
And then obviously come on last night. He's played centre back for us. He's a proper young talent, isn't he? You say young talent now. It seems as if he's been around forever.
23.
For me, he's been he's like I said, he's only a youngster, 22, 23. He's been out on loan. But I think that loan move have done him good. He's come back and, he's working hard. And, he's taking his opportunities when he is coming into the team. I think, again, he's going to be another great one for us going forward.
I wasn't a big fan of him 2 years ago. I thought he was lightweight on the ball. He was bullied off it too easy. I thought his reading was poor. He went on loan, and then all of a sudden he's come back. He's a different player. I mean, look at the Swansea game. The Swansea game is the best example. O'Dowd goes off early with injury. You're asking a youngster to come on in a massive game like that, not from the start, but from partway through it, and get him up front. The first thing he does, he just goes straight to someone. Ronald, just absolutely clatters him out, and he's in the game now, and everyone's up front. And the mentality that takes, I mean, there's a shift in his mentality, and I think he's coming back a different player from his loan spell. Yeah. And it's fantastic. It benefits us.
Yeah, 100% agree with you, buddy. Alex Robertson come on in the 65th minute, I think, yesterday. So had 25, 30 minutes. Obviously, he's been out for a couple of weeks with injury and illness, I think. Don't think we've seen enough of him last night, really, to kind of
judge.
I don't know, really. But, it's just nice to see him back with a shirt on his back and out getting minutes in his legs, isn't it?
Well, funny enough, Tuesday night he was on for 10 minutes, on for his field about 10 minutes, and he looked like he was out of breath. He looked like he was struggling big time. So I was surprised he came on for 30 minutes last night, really, with extra time and everything. 30 minutes, but I thought he was okay. It's great for his fitness levels. I wouldn't say he's ready to start yet. Probably he's still a bit behind, but hopefully by the time he comes to Luton, he's a starting him ready. Hopefully by then. So good to see him come back again. It's a massive player to miss. That is an injury, especially where we are in the league as well. To miss a player like that,
yeah. And obviously we lost David Turnbull, and I think before David Turnbull got injured, he was having the pairing those two had. Yeah. They were playing really well together, weren't they? I think. So it'll be interesting. I'm not sure how far I think Turnbull's back training, but obviously I don't think he's going to feature much. Obviously, he might feature now before the end of the season, but obviously it's going to take him a while. He's been up for quite a while, hasn't he? I think Turnbull. So it's going to take him a while now to get back to match fitness. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they can rekindle that pairing that was so successful before he got injured.
Well, it's one of those as well. He's really good with the ball at his feet. You can hold it as well. So if you can get him, like 20% fitness, you can bring him on for the last 10 minutes to help see a game out. that'll do wonders for him as well. Last 10 minutes, that'll help speed it along because again, you can train as much as you want to get match fit. You don't get match fit until you play matches. It's a difference. So if you can get 10 minutes out of him to see a game out, it's a fantastic start. That is.
Yeah, 100%. Last 10 minutes, then we introduced a bit of pace. Cian Ashford and Isaac Davis. Would you have brought them on any sooner? Do you think?
I thought one of them would have started ahead of Ian Ghazi Willock just to offer pace for the counter. I was surprised how late they did come on. But then again, I think the plan is to keep them as fit as possible for Tuesday night. And I think it was just a case of we need fresh legs just to try and hold the ball a bit better, try and do something with the ball just to stop them scoring a third, maybe then if it falling apart. But yeah, again, it's one of those where Isaac Davis has been out all season again. So 10 minutes in his legs, 20 minutes, 30 minutes on Tuesday night, whatever it was. It's all about building them up and getting him back now to sharpness. So I'm happy he got 10 minutes. Let's get him back now on the bench for Tuesday night. Bring him on.
Yeah. There's a question here for you. Who's your young player of the season? Mine's probably Ashford. Bacon, does he qualify? If so, he's also a shout. I think it's a great question, that. Ashford, for me, has been fantastic since he's come in. I think it was well documented, and we've mentioned previously on the pod that he had a bit of an issue with, was it Wales under 21s? He had an issue, and his commitment was questioned, and I think there was something, there was just discussions at Cardiff as well, but it's almost as if he'd had a rocket put up his backside. He's knuckled down, worked hard, and since he's come back into the team, again, he's been a breath of fresh air for me. His work ethic is fantastic. He's dangerous. He's quick. He, when he got the ball at his feet, he's happy to, go at defenders. And what I like about him is, he's not afraid to track back and put a shoulder into somebody as well if he needs to. And I love that about a player. It's all good. We all want the glory of going up and scoring goals or getting assists. But I love the fact that he doesn't mind getting his hands dirty by tracking back and, chucking a shoulder into someone like him.
The best thing for me about Ashford, first of all, to answer the question, I'm 33. So anyone younger than me is young in my eyes. So Callum Robertson, who's 30, is young player of the year for me. But again, it's so many to choose. And Robertson started the season absolutely fantastic. He's brilliant. Will Fish is growing into that position now. Ashford for me though probably would be. And I think one of the big things you look at, right, is not to criticise Willock, but you look at Willock now. He seems to get the ball in the final third and he sort of cuts back. I think he's hesitant to lose the ball. He looks like he's someone who doesn't want to lose the ball. Bowler the same last year. He gets the ball, he cuts back, stops, looks, gives it away. Ashford, I think, is fearless. He runs at defenders. If he loses the ball, he loses the ball. That doesn't stop him. He'll win it back. He'll try again and again and again. And he will get behind the defender and put the ball in the box. So I think that's one thing for Ashford that stands out for me. It's just his willingness to keep going. I love seeing that.
Yeah.
But again, this is the thing now, because you asked us 3 or 4 years ago, young player of the year, and you're thinking, well, we got one. I think young player of the year a few years ago was someone like 24 years old. And now you look at a young player of the year now, it could be anyone from 18 to 21. So it's a brilliant problem to have now we've lowered the age of the squad.
Yeah. Let's dive back in. The other problem, obviously, being is able to put out a consistent first choice team every game. It's been a mix of who is fit and able to play. Spot on, that is.
Yeah, I think that comes down to the pre-season we had. Because we went to pre-season games this year, didn't we, right?
Yeah.
And if you remember, I think 7 or 8 out of 10 of the starting 11 were all Cardiff players. And you'd have 2 first-team regulars like Turnbull and Tanner. And then you're thinking, no wonder they're so unfit, the first team. None of them played in pre-season. We didn't see CEO through pre-season. We didn't see Gutas in pre-season. So all these players just chucked into the deep end first game of the season and they were way off it.
Here's a great question to finish us off then. Biggest question, will Rhys still be here? If I was a money man, I'd put my money on it, but nothing would surprise me if I'm completely honest. But me personally, and this is my opinion only, I I hope he's still here next season.
If I was a money man, I'd be supporting Barcelona. But I'm not a money man, so I'm sort of Cardiff. You'd like to think he'd be here. I think he's done enough. I think he's done enough to say, look, I need a chance now. I think he needs a summer to build. I think he needs to clean out some of the players, bring his own in. He needs a summer now to get him fit and stuff. And then I like to see where we are under him. I think he's earned the right. But the problem is we got Vincent Tan. So you could have Dalman and Chu telling Vincent, keep him on. He's doing a good job. The fans love him. And all Vincent will hear is, he's going to cost me money. I want him gone. Do you mean, like, his keeper hasn't scored a single goal this year. Man City's keeper's got 2 assists. Liverpool's keeper's got 3 assists. I want them all gone. That's what we got to deal with as fans. An owner that has no clue what he's doing. So again, I'd like to say he stays, but without, let's be honest, without our chairman, our board, and our ownership, who knows? Absolutely, who knows?
Yeah, I hope he's still here anyway.
I do. I hope he's here. I've been impressed. Some of the results haven't gone away. I think players have let him down, but I think you will see he's trying to do something, but he's doing the best with what he's got. And it's not even his side. This is a bullet side for starters. That was built to play bullet football, which was defensive. He's trying to change that slowly, and you can't expect him to do it with one transfer window. Look at Arteta. He's needed 3 or 4 windows to build a side that finishes second 3 years on the row. And to be fair, you ask any Arsenal fan, becoming second is a big thing for them, for a small club like that. So for Cardiff, I think you need to give him 2 windows.
It's a good shout as well.
I wouldn't say he needs more experience about 2 per se. I think he needs more staff. I don't think we've got a fitness staff. I think we've got a goalkeeping coach who's on an interim basis. Richard Shaw, Darren Person, Tom Ramosat. We lost a fitness coach when Bullet went. We need more coaches. I think he needs more support with more coaches. And I think you get that in. Again, you'll probably get more experience with more coaches. So I just think he does need help. So yeah, I'd stick with him. I really would stick with Rhys. I know there's a certain element of our fan base who like to think he should go and we should be signing, Zidane to be manager and spending £50 million on one player. And if you don't agree with them, that you're wrong because they know Cardiff, because they watched you in the 1700s when they were born. But again, most fans will tell you this has been this. We'll fight the relegation more seasons. I think under Rhys, I'd give him a summer. We'll be mid-table at least. I think.
Yeah, 100% agree, buddy. Just before we finish off, then, guys. Thank you everybody for tuning in and watching, and obviously get involved as you always do. The interaction in the chat is always appreciated. Helps us get us through the hour. You can see the link going across the bottom. If you want to become a member of Cardiff City World, you can do it via the YouTube channel or accessing the Ace Podcast Nation Patreon. Any support you can give is much appreciated. You get early access to tickets to live events, member shows, etc. So any help you can give really does help. Allows Si to keep creating content 7 days a week and keeps me and Rhys on the screen. But not that we do it for anything. We just do it because we're mental. But yeah.
Yet.
Yeah.
Don't forget, end of season now, we've got to renegotiate our contracts with Si, I think.
Yes. Next year when Si's a millionaire, this, don't forget, Si, man.
You wouldn't know we've been paid, but there'll be signs, like a fur coat and a couple of ladies on each lap. Pimping.
Yeah. But no, guys, thanks very much for tuning in. Much appreciated. Me and Rhys will be back on, we're at the game Tuesday, my friend, aren't we? So... me and Rhys will be at the game on Tuesday. If anybody does see Rhys at the ground, please go over and acknowledge him because he really does like the interaction. He thrives off it. So
he loves it.
Really boost his ego that will Tuesday night if somebody goes over and shakes his hand. But no, all jokes aside, if you're tuning into this tonight, get down to Cardiff City Stadium Tuesday. Let's get behind the boys and let's help get them over the line now. It'll be nice not to go into the last couple of the seasons needing any results, and hopefully we can get it done and dusted. Hopefully with 3 or 4 games to go. Who knows, Brad? Who knows?
Exactly. Do our job, get done early. And let's plan for next season then.
Yeah, let the youngsters play.
Exactly.
All star, everyone.